how you explain it to your kids, but I do know that if you're Rosie O'Donnell, who he hates, and in fairness, she hates him, it's mutual.
Oh, yeah.
And you are listening to him threaten Liz Cheney.
It is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America. That's when we will consider coming back.
So probably I'll sue her because it would be fun. I'd like to take some money out of her fat ass pockets. I actually think they ought to look at her whole life and see where she's coming from, because I think she's got some very deep-seated problems.
The ladies of The View just make up stories for their audience without proper research, and it is really sad to watch. This time around, Ana Navarro is at it again, blaming Trump for other people's misfortune. Is there any truth in her claims? How has the president responded to some of the recent happenings? These are some of the things that we will be discussing in this video.
To him threaten Liz Cheney, and you're looking at him go after law firms, and you are listening to him saying he's coming back to be the retribution, and you know how ruthless and how vicious he is, and that he personally hates you, and you have a 12-year-old with special needs, and you want to bring her up in a place of love.
These women are so full of hate that they're blinded by reality. How Ana Navarro came to this conclusion is something that we will never know.
And peace, and you have the resources and ability, then you make the hard decision of leaving. Good for her. It's good that she's fought her entire life. She's putting herself first.
It's either she believes what she is saying and should be taken off the show because she is so uninformed, or she is outrightly lying, in which case she should also be taken off the show.
Ireland is known for very happy, fun-loving people, great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr. President,
During a White House meeting with Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin, former President Donald Trump took a shot at actress Rosie O'Donnell and her decision to move to Ireland.
Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver. Rosie attacked me personally because I was very happy when her talk show failed. The other thing that failed, and this was a real monster, and everybody was suing her, was her magazine. Her magazine, called Rosie, was a total disaster.
At one point, a reporter jokingly asked Martin why he allowed the American comedian to settle in his country. But before Martin could answer, Trump jumped in with his own response.
So I loved it. I gloat over it. I think it's wonderful because I like to see bad people fail. Rosie failed. I'm happy about it. She's basically a disaster. Well, she called me a snake oil salesman. And, coming from Rosie, that's pretty low, because when you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I don't get it. I never understood.
That's a great question, he said. Did you know you have Rosie O'Donnell now? Do you even know who she is? Honestly, you're better off not knowing.
How does she even get on television? I believe Barbara made a terrible mistake putting her on, and I think Barbara's probably paying a big price. If I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired. We're all a little chubby, but Rosie's just worse than most of us. But it's not the chubbiness. Rosie is a very unattractive person.
Trump's remarks came after O'Donnell shared that she has been living in Ireland and is working on getting Irish citizenship. It's been amazing, I have to say, the 62-year-old said in a TikTok video. The people here are so kind, so welcoming, and I'm really grateful.
Both inside and out. Rosie's a person that's very lucky to have her girlfriend. And she better be careful, or I'll send one of my friends over to pick up her girlfriend. Why would she stay with Rosie if she had another choice? She's trying to use ABC and The View to get even with me. But with me, we fight back. I'll probably sue Rosie.
Rosie O'Donnell revealed that she left the U.S. on January 15th, just 5 days before Donald Trump's inauguration. She even shared a selfie from Ireland on Instagram. I never thought I'd move to another country, but I decided it was the best choice for me and my 12-year-old child, she explained.
Because she doesn't tell the facts. As an example, I'm worth many billions of dollars. Now, she said I was bankrupt. I never went bankrupt, so probably I'll sue her because it would be fun. I'd like to take some money out of her fat ass pockets. I actually think they ought to look at her whole life and see where she's coming from, because I think she's got some very deep-seated problems.
O'Donnell and Trump have been feuding since 2006. when she criticized him on The View for going easy on a Miss USA winner accused of drug use and bad behavior. Trump fired back, calling her a real loser.
Perhaps it should be Rosie that goes to rehab. Rosie is a loser.
At the time, Trump defended his decision, saying, "I believe in second chances. Tara is a good person. She's tried hard, and she deserves another shot."
And then, you see crazy orange turd talking about how, oh, did you see she said thank you a lot? Something he's never said in his life to anyone. Thank you.
Years later, in 2014, O'Donnell said the feud led to the worst bullying I've ever experienced in my life.
He's not worth thinking about. And it's over, and he knows it's over, and what awaits him are all of these other trials and jail. That's what awaits him. But that's because of what he did.
Back when Trump first ran for president and won, Rosie O'Donnell joked on Late Night with Seth Meyers that she spends 90% of her work hours tweeting her dislike for his administration.
What he did himself. Wake up, Trumpy people. Wake up. He's a bad guy, and he tricked you, but it's okay. He tricked a lot of people, and Mark Burnett. That bastard sold him as a successful businessman on The Apprentice.
Their feud goes way back. In the 2015 Republican primary debate, Trump was asked about insulting women with names like Fat Pig and Slob. His response? He laughed and said, "Only Rosie O'Donnell."
Which he never, ever was. So it's not your fault you got hoodwinked. And mass media, like everybody failed us in mainstream journalism while Trump was running against Hillary.
During last year's election, Trump couldn't resist bringing up Rosie O'Donnell again. At the October Al Smith dinner, he joked that The View had gotten so bad that they really need to bring Rosie O'Donnell back.
And they were somehow saying this was legitimate. Legitimate comparison, the two of them, that they were somehow worth comparing. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Despite their long-running feud, O'Donnell seems unbothered. She shared that she and her daughters are happy in Ireland. "I miss my other kids," she admitted, referring to her 5 grown children. "I miss my friends. I miss a lot about home. But I'm trying to build a life here in this beautiful country. When America guarantees equal rights for all citizens, that's when we'll consider coming back."
Who thought that Donald Trump has changed? He has not changed, okay? No. He is the same immature, insensitive, inappropriate oaf that he's always been. What he should be doing right now is putting out tweets saying, "I thank the heroic first responders. I thank the countries of Canada and Mexico and all the others who've helped."
While Trump and Rosie O'Donnell have always had controversies, it is totally wrong for Navarro to claim that the president is the reason why she fled the country. Trump never threatened O'Donnell, so these people need to stop pushing that narrative.
I thank the surrounding states that have sent help. I have talked to Governor Newsom. I have talked to Mayor Bass. I have told them that my administration in 7 days will be ready to supply everything and anything that California needs. Californians, my thoughts are with you. Those are the things you have to say. If you need help in figuring it out.
Otherwise, ABC News or Ana Navarro might be getting another lawsuit soon. At the end of 2024, ABC News agreed to pay $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit filed by Donald Trump.
Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it.
The lawsuit was about comments made by anchor George Stephanopoulos, who said on air that Trump was found liable for raping writer E. Jean Carroll.
For people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as deputy chief of staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious.
As part of the settlement, both ABC News and Stephanopoulos agreed to apologize publicly during a live broadcast of This Week.
When you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos.
ABC News also agreed to donate $15 million to a fund for a presidential foundation and museum in Trump's name. On top of that, the network will also cover $1 million in legal fees, according to court documents.
It's ABC News and their top anchor reaching a settlement now with President-elect Trump in his defamation suit. The news network will have to pay $15 million to Trump and an additional $1 million for Trump's legal fees. Both ABC and George Stephanopoulos also ordered to issue statements of regret as part of the deal.
Trump filed the lawsuit against ABC News and George Stephanopoulos in federal court in Miami, just days after the segment aired. In the broadcast, the Good Morning America and This Week host repeatedly got the details wrong about the verdicts in E. Jean Carroll's 2 civil cases against Trump.
Coming on, I want to expand on the defamation lawsuits. Could you see moving that to other people with individual platforms, social media influencers, people that...
Or newspapers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I think you have to do it because they're very dishonest.
Before this case, President Donald Trump hadn't had much success suing media organizations. But now that he's won this one, he's doubling down, threatening more lawsuits and saying he wants to straighten out the press.
He's only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
But here's something to think about. These women once supported Trump, just like many others in America. So, what changed? Something must have happened along the way.
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020.
They're so stuck in their own bubble that they can't stand anyone who doesn't agree with them. And let's be honest, Trump doesn't hold back.
89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2000.
Meanwhile, the View hosts have turned daytime TV into a masterclass in chaos. With takes like theirs, it's surprising people haven't changed the channel for good. Maybe less shouting and more thinking would do the trick. What do you think?
But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won a popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
What's a different definition of a mandate?
It's hard to see it any other way. They're basically paid actors pushing a scripted message, just an infomercial for one side. The amount of misinformation they spread is shocking. Hopefully, one day, all fake media will be held accountable. As for Trump, maybe he should start suing every person who falsely accuses him until they're bankrupt. That might make people think twice before spreading lies. Actions have consequences. Maybe it's time they finally face them.
Headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry Not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class.
Fake news is finally facing the consequences for spreading lies. It's about time. Misinformation has gone unchecked for too long, and now they're paying the price. The American people deserve honest reporting, not biased narratives and selective editing. Trump is pushing back against the corrupt media machine, and he's winning. The days of elites controlling the story are coming to an end. A new era of transparency and accountability is here, and it's a sight to behold. Why do you think Rosie O'Donnell fled America? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you won't miss any new updates, and I will see you in the next one.